Hi, and thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Come to Find Out. This week we are talking with Amy Hile, and she is with MI Homes, and we are at the Liberty Park.
Liberty Grand Communities.
Liberty Grand Communities. I love it. I always mess that up. So thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about this community. You know, how long have you guys been working on this community?
This community was a handful of years in the making. We opened in 2020, I believe. I was just saying, I can't even remember the exact date because it's been such a whirlwind. We'll have about a little under 500 homes when the community finishes out between our two series. It's pretty much been the top seller in Central Ohio since we opened. Great price point for Olentangy schools. We will have paths to the elementary and then also to Liberty High School. So it's been well sought after for sure.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Now, how many different elementary schools, does this feed into, or does it just go to one?
It does just go to one. They initially thought about splitting it at one point in our basement section, but then they agreed to keep it all for one, keep it all assigned to one. It could, of course, change in the future because you never know, yes. But being that we're attached, I think, it does make it a lot easier for families too.
Yeah. I love that because I feel like some of the communities, that are being built around town, they're separated out into different elementary schools, and maybe, it's just a street different, and like your best friend has to go to a different school. So I like that. I think that was such a good idea.
Yeah, it's so nice too. With the paths, they can also take advantage of, all the play opportunities they have over there for sports. And plus we'll have 3 play areas here. There's a dog park, walking paths throughout. So it's a great way to connect everybody together for sure.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So you have 3 different models in this section, is that correct?
Yes, in our innovation series, our non-basement homes, we do have 3 different models. We build 5 floor plans exclusive to this community. They range from about 1,520 square feet on up to a little over 2,400, which is the one we're in now, the Westerville. On the basement side, we build 6 plans over there, and our model is called our Dearborn. It's a little under 2,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, loft upstairs, so it's a nice mid-size to give families an opportunity to see how that works, and then do I need to go bigger, do I need to go smaller, and we kind of go from there.
I love that. I love that. So this section is just the non-basement side, and then the basement side is a totally different section. Is that
correct? This is innovations, and then across the street's the essentials.
Is there a big difference between square footage in the different models?
We actually start at about the same 1520 and then end about the same. This one's like 2438, and then over there it's like 2497. So square footage doesn't change all that much, but of course it doesn't include the basement. So you can get up to 1,000 square feet to finish in the future, or a little bit more than 1,000 square feet if you're on the basement side.
Okay. And do your contractors ever finish the basement if the client wants that, or is that something they do after they've purchased the home?
They would do it after. We've been doing this almost 50 years now. We definitely recommend wait a year, let your basement settle, dry out, and cure. So much water goes into the home, in the beginning process, and concrete starts as a liquid as well. So it's great to let it dry out before you cover up those walls, make sure that they're set.
That's such good advice. I love that.
And we can get you ready to finish it out, bath rough in, egress window. We keep everything up in the rafters pretty much for the most part. Okay. So we'll make it easy for you to do. Just, we recommend waiting.
Perfect. And then is there another section that you all have that maybe includes condos?
We do have our Woodcrest Crossing community right down the street, about a mile down the road. There we have single family homes. There'll be about 274, I think. And then we have 60 retreat condominium as well in our section. They're built in quads. It's such a friendly environment. They face green space. It's just a really nice social setting, but also you have private backyard, private patio. So kind of the best of both worlds.
I love that. So this section that has the non-basement, what is the starting price in this area?
Well, there are a couple of things that we do now more than we have in the past. A lot of the times when you go to a builder, you think, well, gee, I'm going to build from the ground up. It's going to be about a year. Well, that's not necessarily the case with several of our communities. Here on this section, the Innovation Series, we build them as completed inventory. So we don't even list them for sale until after they've started. They've been through the permit process, the planning process, been through all of our vendors behind the scenes. And then once we start building them, we release them for sale. So you'll get a beautifully designed home, generally within around 5 months or so max, and you can move right in and get on with it.
Wow, I really like that because yeah, I do have clients that they're like, we really want to build, but we don't have a year to wait for it to be built. So that's so nice to know.
Yeah, and with we sell them as complete packages too. They come with an appliance package, beautiful design options, complete light package, everything. So you literally pick the home you love on the lot you want, and you move right in.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And I'm sorry, what was the starting price?
In the mid fours, we do have like our smallest plan in Naperville, which is a 1,520 square foot ranch that'll start in the lower 400s. So we've got a couple of homes that might start in that range, but for the most part, it's going to be mid 4 to low 5.
Okay. Perfect. Still a great, price point to get into Olentangy schools and, and you have a brand new home. So that's great.
Oh, absolutely. Most of our competition in the area is going to be between 600 and 800. So the fact that you can get in here in the mid 4s, low 5 is pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, how long have you been with MI Homes?
I've worked for MI Homes for a little over 8 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. And what made you choose MI Homes over, any other builder?
I actually started as a realtor and decided I really was a corporate girl. So when I looked around and I looked at what was available here in Columbus, I wanted to go to your hometown builder, the person with the best reputation, the person I thought, was going to really treat their clients right. So MI is actually the only one I interviewed with when I decided to make the change.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you already knew that you loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard so many great things. I didn't grow up here, so when you come to the area and you're starting to learn and you're researching and doing your home searches, things like that, everything I heard about MI was a positive, so I thought it was the place to be.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So you're basically based here in this community. How many other MI home communities, though, are there around Central Ohio?
We're all we have our home communities, but we have 20 communities currently open. And we've got, plans for some more coming in early 24 as well.
Yeah. Wow. I love that.
It's exciting. Being the hometown builder, I do think we get the best land positions. And, so we've got a lot of great things, available now in all price ranges around, all around the city. And then we've got some exciting new things coming next year, to kind of support the people coming in for Intel and different home series, different things that people are looking for. One of the things I love most about MI is that not only do we build a beautiful home, but we also make sure we create value. We know that, prices are going up. Columbus grows so quickly. It continues to grow. So I want to make sure we have beautiful, affordable homes for families as well, which is why we've created the Innovation Series and some more stuff we have coming down the pike as well.
That's so amazing. So if someone was wanting to get started in this process, can you kind of walk me through how that looks? They get with their realtor, they come and they sit down with you, and kind of then what?
Really, it's a lot of questioning in the beginning. Got to be a detective. Where are you? Where do you spend your time? What feels like home? What's your budget? And just kind of go down the list and see, what fits best. Where do you work? Do you want a short commute? What activities are you involved in? Having so many communities around the city, it's important to make sure that you're going to have quality of life, not just best price or best floor plan. So put you in the right location, make sure we're listening to the details.
Perfect. So then they choose the community that fits for them. They look through the model and they're like, yep, this is exactly what I want. And so then do they just do a contract with you? How does that work?
We try to keep everything as simple as possible. If you're building with us or buying inventory, it's 7% down to go on a contract. Pretty much put your proverbial checkbook away after that. Get pre-approved with MI Financial, driver's license, and we'll get everything underway. We do have a lot of inventory opportunities as well, being the biggest builder in the city. So if client falls in love with, let's just say, the Dearborn plan. We may have a Dearborn underway that'll be ready in 3 months, 6 months, or we can build from the ground up. So we'll investigate the opportunities, what seems to be the best fit, and go from there.
I love that. And I love that you guys have the inventory home so that you have that as an option, if somebody is really loves a certain model and, is wanting to move a little bit faster. So, okay, so then they're in contract, everything's moving forward. Are there certain steps along the way that they come and do inspections, like before drywall goes up or anything like that? Like, how does that kind of work?
We pretty much have it down to a science. Being in the different series, there's going to be different lengths of time, different things that will happen in terms of what goes on as you're going into contract. Some families will choose a design package with us. We've got beautifully designed packages that families will choose to save them a trip to the design center. Some series will get to go to the design center once or twice and work with our designers. So we'll have all of those things in the timeline as well. Basically, once we're in contract and everything goes through the back office process, the home gets drawn, we go through the city for permit, they go through all of our vendors for everything. Generally, it's about 75 to 90 days from the time you sign to the time you dig, give or take a little bit. Okay. Before we dig, we'll sit down with the construction manager. Everybody's assigned a construction manager, so they'll have their new home consultant, construction manager, throughout the build process. We'll review the plan, the print, the selections, answer any questions about the build process, and then that's a partnership formed from there. Then we get the home underway. We introduced this past year a wonderful program where we now have a company that comes and takes pictures of the home underway. So they'll be posting them to the site. So if people don't have time to come out and drive by and all of that, they'll be able to see that online. We also have our My Homes site now where they can get updates sent to you about where your home is in the process. So you've gone through, the MI financial approval. We've gone through buyer builder conference. Okay, your house is starting to frame. Your house is starting to, get wiring, things like that. And as far as meetings go, there are a couple of scheduled meetings with construction. Of course, the buyer builder conference, which I mentioned. Then the pre-drywall meeting before they, seal up the walls, make sure everything's in place. And then there's your new home orientation. Right before the home is ready to close, your construction manager will schedule it out with you where they'll come spend an hour or two with you, review, home maintenance, review your warranties, review the mechanicals, answer any questions you have about your home, make sure you're ready and you're set up for success for closing. And then pretty much like clockwork, we do the blue tape, you can touch up this, touch up that, and then you close 7 days after that at our corporate office.
Okay. So now, so that's so great to hear, especially if you're building, kind of from the ground up. So if somebody's buying an inventory home, do they still get to do that blue tape inspection before closing, or is it kind of just a regular inspection that you would do?
Well, all of the homes are thoroughly inspected by the municipalities, and there's a card that hangs in the windows of the homes that shows all the inspections the homes have been through with everyone. So it's a very rigorous process, to make sure that the homes pass. Plus, we have a third-party company come and test our homes and everything else. So the buyer will get all that information. It really depends on whether or not, how far in the process, I guess, how much they get to experience on all of that. But, if it's early enough in the process, they'd have an opportunity to do the pre-drywall walkthrough and, maybe meet with our pre-wire vendor still, things like that. Once we have our homes up and they're insulated, then it kind of sets a little bit more of a concrete timeline to where there's not any changes made, anything like that, but they still get to partner with construction and, learn about their home throughout the rest of the process.
Perfect. I love that. Well, thank you so much for, kind of walking us through that and everything.
Yeah.
Are there any other features about, this development that you really are just so excited that they included? Like a pool or, walking trails, clubhouse, things like that. I know you mentioned something about trails. But.
Yeah, the community is going to be about 300 acres. So there's paths throughout from Sawmill down to Stites. So there's a lot of walkability, ride your bike, hang out with your family. There'll be 3 play areas in the community. There's a fishing pier, there's a dog park, and then of course the connections to the schools as well. So much opportunity for families to get together and enjoy the green space and not have to care for it. Yeah. So it makes it a lot more fun. You bet.
I love that. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to meet with me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully you learned a lot about the building process. Obviously, if you look down in the show notes, you'll see all of the links to be able to find out more about MI. I'll definitely put Amy's information because she can help you in this community or any of the other communities around Central Ohio. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Come to Find Out.